Hi everyone, it's Shar. Welcome back to my channel. I apologize for the wind in the background. Listen, it's a windy day. I don't control the weather. So I did my top books of 2022 in December, just letting you know all of the books that I read and which ones were my absolute favorites. But I didn't specifically create a section for romances. And now that I've had some space to think about it, I've been able to process my most recent reads, the November and December ones. I want to specifically tier rank my 2022 romances. For this video though, I split romances into two different categories, right? We have our romances, which have like a significant plot. The romance is central to the story and the narrative, but there is still a plot driving the story forward. And then we have erotica. Now, let's just disclaim, I do consider erotica to be romance, but for this video specifically and the books that I'm going to be ranking, it's about 34-ish books. I focus specifically on the books that have a significant plot where the romance is still central. If something could fall into the category of erotica where really the characters were just there to fuck, then I did not include that on this list. This is just romances with a significant plot. I have a tendency to ramble though, so I'm just going to cue it to tier ranking me to tell you what's up and the ranking of these books. I'm going to walk you through each one of the tiers. We have What Is This, Honey? It's a book that really just did not work for me, okay? Then we have Sorry to This Man, a book that is completely forgettable. Barely remember who the characters are or what the plot was. Sorry, my chair squeaks against the wall. We'll ignore it. Okay, then we have Good Times, a book that I genuinely did really enjoy and had a great time with, but wasn't anything to write home about. And I Believe in Love Again is a book that I really loved. I had a great time with. I thought it was so fun and I loved the book. Something about it just worked. And then we have our top tier, One True Love. This is a book that I had a damn good time with. I thought it was everything I'm looking for in a romance novel. In total, there's about 30-ish books here, so we're gonna go through that. Again, this list would be a lot longer if I included erotica, but I chose not to. So let's start with Eidolon, which is the sequel to Radiance. Eidolon, I'm going to put in I Believe in Love Again. Now the thing is, I believe that this couple here are absolutely soulmates and I love them so much, but the sequel I had a great time with and I really enjoyed, but there was a side POV that I think was completely unnecessary and really took a lot of the tension out of the story because we knew what the resolution was, and the resolution was on the horizon. Fire in His Blood. This is the first of the Fire Blood Dragon series. It's also going to go in I Believe in Love Again. This was one of my favorite series by Ruby Dixon, and I had a really good time reading this book. I thought the relationship between our dragon character and our female character was great, and I enjoyed the complexity of this world, even though I think there are definitely some plot holes. I can barely remember any of these other stories, so they're just gonna go into Good Times. I remember having fun with them, but that's about it. So they can all go into generally good times. I'm gonna skip to the rest of the books here, all the Fireblood series. Like they can pretty much all go here, a lot like Ice Planet Barbarians. The story is relatively the same. The one that can go higher up though is this one here, Fire in Her Fury or something like that. I don't remember the exact name, but you could see the pixelated cover here. I Believe in Love Again for this one because this follows a female dragon, and I thought the idea of her trying to claim a human mate was really interesting, and I like their relationship dynamics. Okay, Holden's Mate, I'm gonna put in Sorry to This Man to be nice. Ultimately, this book was just completely forgettable. Raph, a buff male. Why am I struggling with that? Raph, a buff male nanny, I am going to put into Good Times. I enjoyed this, but there was a lot of chemistry for me. It didn't have a spark. It was just something fun to read, but not anything that really got me going, really had me rooting for them. Pestilence can go into Good Times as well. Hello? No. Into Good Times as well. The thing about Pestilence is that I enjoyed it, but again, I didn't feel a massive amount of chemistry between our two characters, and at times the book was slow. A Nordic King could go into I Believe in Love Again. It was just fun. Okay, I'm not going to explain everything. I had fun with this book. My Darling Duke can also go into I Believe in Love Again. I like the plot here of her pretending to be married to like this duke that no one's seen and him finding out about it and then them falling in love. It was very cute. The Royal Rogue is in the same world as a Nordic king, and I'm going to have to put this in What Is This, Honey? Because this book was all over the place, really could not get its plot together, and completely broke all believability in the relationship, even though I was rooting for the characters, and I loved the female character in this book. She didn't get any time with the hero, they didn't get any time together, yet I was supposed to believe that they were in love. War can go into good times. I had fun with War, definitely some problematic elements, so I can't rate it higher than that. Death, I am going to rank also at good times. I had a fine time with Death. I enjoyed it. I think it was a little bit too long, and a lot of the tension in the story and the conflict of the story just continued to cycle. It was the same thing over and over and over again, but it is the conclusion to the Four Horsemen series. Let me find Famine. Where's Famine? God damn it. I did upload Famine, but apparently he's disappeared. So Famine, I'll pop the book here in the video. Is One True Love. I loved Famine so much in this series. It was my favorite book, although it is dark, but I found myself laughing. So I don't know what that says about me. Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellflower. I loved this book. I'm going to put it in Believe in Love Again. The relationship between Darcy and Elle was super cute, and yes, it is white millennial, but not as extreme as some other books that I have read. I just thought they were a very cute couple, even though I wasn't always rooting for them and genuinely don't think they would stay together. I'm gonna go to Count Your Lucky Stars because it's in the same universe as Written in the Stars, but Count Your Lucky Stars I loved. It goes into One True Loves. It's a second chance romance between Margot, who is the roommate in the first story, and the best friend in the second story, and her old high school friend, and they kind of meet up and fall in love. It was so fun, and I recommend the audiobook for this. Okay, Pool Boy can go into good times. This was fun. This was super smutty, but it definitely had a significant plot, and I don't think this is accurate, but there's a musical element, and I'm just gonna say the character who they're inspired by is very much Taylor Swift. Love Unexpected is actually a book that I DNF'd at 90%. So that should tell you it's going to go into What Is This, Honey? Because this relationship creeped me the fuck out. I know that it is taboo, but the fact that creeped me out is that he was fantasizing about her or had like feelings towards her when she was very much still a minor. And when I say it's taboo, I mean like very taboo. This is his deceased wife's daughter, and he's her principal. And it's just like all the taboo things for the reason of it, like for the sake of it being taboo, and it just did not work for me. People We Meet on Vacation is going to go into One True Love. This is one of the few or only Emily Henry books that really worked for me. I loved the relationships, and I loved how she was able to develop two fully fleshed out characters and how they interact with each other. King of Battle and Blood. It's gonna have to go into Sorry to This Man. I'm sorry. Listen, besties. It's very like smut heavy, so if you're into that, which I usually am, I definitely would say like you'll enjoy that aspect of it. But our female character felt very immature, and this world was interesting, but the ending ruined the whole thing for me, so no. The Fastest Way to Fall, you will know, was on one of my top books of 2022, but I'm not gonna put it in One True Love because when stacked against other romances, I would say it falls into I Believe in Love Again. I just liked this book a lot, and I like our female character a ton, and I think it's cute how much he was pining for her. The Dragon's Bride, one could argue is erotica, but to me there was enough of a plot going on for me to feel comfortable putting it on this list, and I loved The Dragon's Bride. I'm going to put it could go into good times. It really could. And I'm wondering if it should actually go into I Believe in Love Again. I'm gonna have to put it in good time. This book did not make me believe in love again, but I sure as hell had fun reading it. Okay, Change of Heart is a book that I read on Scribd. It was recommended after I finished Count Your Lucky Stars, and I just wanted to read more romances like it. So Change of Heart, I am going to put in it's somewhere between Good Times and I Believe in Love Again. There's a lot of emotional depth in here, and I think that if you like Emily Henry, you might like this. The writing is fairly simple, but it's still a really interesting book with a fantastic twist. But the twist itself, I don't think I could personally get over. For that, I can't say it's I Believe in Love Again, but I do like it more than the books in Good Time. I'm gonna put it I Believe in Love Again, but no, it's not because of the romance in it, although I do love the romance. It's because of the emotional depth and the setting of this book. I Married a Birdman. Sometimes I say the names of these books, and it just like makes me laugh. Okay, I Married a Birdman was actually pretty good. It's in the Prime Mating series by Regine Abel. I Married a Birdman was really fun, but I can't put it at I Believe in Love Again. It's going to go right there in Good Times. Then I have Love on the Brain, and you already know how I feel about Love on the Brain. It's going right into One True Love. Below Zero, also by Miss Ali Hazelwood. It's deranged for me, besties, because this is What Is This, Honey? This is hands down the worst sex scenes I've ever read in my life. The time jumps are ridiculous and make it really hard to keep track of the story. And also you think it's set in like this frozen tundra. They're there for all of 10 pages. The rest of it is flashbacks. That's all I'm gonna say. Alien Exile is part of this like Sandman book by Ursa Dax. They are sand people. But Alien Exile is about like a water crocodile person. And is it? Which one is this? I think I'm right because he's the only one that's blue. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in Good Times. It was fun. The rest of these, though, in that same series are going to have to go to Sorry to This Man because, as you saw, I can barely remember the plot of any of them. I don't remember. So, Sorry to This Man to the rest of those books. I had fun with them, but they're just not memorable. The Half-Orcs Maiden Bride is going to have to go into Sorry to This Man, not because I don't remember it, but because it really, I guess it didn't work for me. That's all I'm going to say. It's about this woman who was the princess of this village, and then her people get conquered by someone else, but they capture the son of the like people that are invading. But the son is a kid, like a little kid, and she risks herself to save him and protect him, and he remembers that. So she gets like special treatment, and he comes back for her when he's in his 20s, and he's like, you are gonna be my wife. So yeah, Luxuria I had a lot of fun with. I'm going to put it into Good Times. Even though I love this book and it's about like this shadow people and a marriage alliance between the shadow people and the hunters, and it's very, very, very steamy. I can't say it made me believe in love again. I just had a lot of fun with it in the way that I had a lot of fun reading fan fiction, which is like the highest compliment that I can pay this book. Okay, that time I got drunk and yeeted a love potion at a werewolf. You all know I love this book. It did make me believe in love again. It's silly, it's ridiculous, it's over the top. There's literally a giant fucking lobster. Listen, besties, but I had a good time with it. There was a plot going throughout the story, and I just loved how much he loved her, but also a lot of conversations about consent and what is okay for their relationship, and it was very cute. Titan, you also know that I loved. It didn't make me believe in love again, but this book was so good that I can't put it into Good Times. I had a fantastic time with it. And then the first book in the Duskwalker series by Opal Rain, we have A Soul to Heal. I loved A Soul to Heal. I thought this was really fun. It is excessively long. It has no reason to be this long, but with that said, I ate it up. It was really, really just an interesting world, and the dynamics of the characters was so fascinating because she's essentially been like, she's sacrificed to him to be his bride so that he can have protection for her village, even though she doesn't want to because her village like low-key, high-key hates her. So it's an interesting story, and I had a really good time with it. And unlike A Soul to Heal, which I'm going to have to demote to Sorry to This Man, which sucks because this is someone here. We meet him in the first book, right? His name is Nameless in the first book because he has not been named as far as he knows. And he ends up falling for this girl here who literally falls out the sky and onto him, but he isn't as fully developed as the others in terms of in this world. These beings develop more intelligence, empathy, and emotional capacity, and ability to do like strategic and logical thinking the more they eat people. But he's very young, so he hasn't eaten a lot of people. This book is just too long and plotless and repetitive, and it was just not really that much fun. And then In a Jam has every single trope you could possibly think of. Second chance, friends to lovers, grumpy sunshine, small town, farm, single dad, a million other things I could tell you. You would think that doesn't work, but it actually did work, and it did make me believe in love again. I did enjoy this book, and I like the dynamics between our two characters, which I feel like I just keep saying, but that's what I look for in these books is, do I like how they interact with each other and how the relationship works? Plus they both had their own issues that they were working through, but he was so caring and loving and protective towards her, and she's also just like very independent and free-spirited, I guess. It was just fun, okay? It was fun. So, wow. I think I'm pretty comfortable with the breakdown of this list, but if I'm thinking about this, again, I loved a lot of the books in good time, but Dragon's Bride, it didn't make me believe in love again. But listen, I did like it more than a lot of the books on here, even though I love the books on here. It has to go up. And because Famine didn't transfer over, Famine would exist on here in One True Loves. So the split, I would say, is pretty reflective of my reading. I don't give a lot of books, even though I give out a lot of 5 stars. This tier ranking should help show like where within that 5-star this would fall. So ultimately I don't have a lot of like top favorite romances of 2022, but if you want to pause the video or take a screenshot here to see which books I have really loved and enjoyed, then feel free to do so. With that said, I'm gonna cut it to outro me. And that's it. Those are the romances with significant plots that I have read in 2022 and where I fall with all of them. I'm upset that Famine did not populate into that list, but you all know where Famine stands. I did enjoy that book, and like I mentioned when I was tier ranking, I think it's questionable that the book is so dark, but yeah, I found a lot of humor in it. I think it's just dark humor. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised with the split because I tend to be very picky, even though I do give out 5 stars if I genuinely did love a book. Not every 5-star book becomes an ultimate favorite. So this list is to show you within that ranking, because a lot of these books I did give 4 and 5 stars. But you can see once we zoom in and we take a closer look, they do have their own rankings within 4 to 5 stars. So that said, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to see you in my next video. If you would like to support me and you would like to subscribe, please do so, and I shall see you next time.